Vishwarupa is the son of Twashta. We were speaking in this morning's Bhagavatam class about forgiveness. So we'll hear a little bit about forgiveness and not forgiving. Twashta has a very qualified son named Vishwarupa. If you approach him in the right way, in the right mood, appeal to his Brahminical, liberal mood, and perhaps he'll help you. Oh, thank you, Lord Brahma. We'll go to Vishwarupa right away. So they went to Vishwarupa. Maybe you've seen the picture of Vishwarupa with Lord Indra approaching him. He had a very unique feature. He had 3 heads. One for speaking, one for eating, and one for chanting Vedic mantras. Very unique personality. So when Indra approached him, he pleaded with him, here's our predicament. Brahma sent us to you. He has great regard and respect for you. Surely you can help the demigods. Can you be our priest? He said, it's a very difficult thing. He gave reasons why it's difficult. You're all vastly superior to me. How can I be your priest? Because respect must be given to the one who was one's priest. But he solved the problem. He said, on your order, I can accept that service. I'll accept it as a service. You offer respect, but I'm just going to accept it as service. Then there's another problem. Another problem is when one takes the position of a priest, particularly the Purohit, the one that does performances of sacrifice. It's the duty of one to give dakshin to the Brahmana. But oh, that can be very contaminating. Because if one starts thinking, oh, how fortunate, I'll do so many yajnas and I'll get so much remuneration from the demigods because they're so affluent. They'll give me nice dakshin and then I'll have so much. All my Brahminical strength will be gone. But then he had a solution for that one also. See, that I have my deity, my Shalagram Shila. And so what I can do is, whatever you offer as dakshin, I'll just use as worship for the deity and nothing for my own person. And that way I'll be free from any contamination. So when devotees receive contributions, you know where to give it, right? You give it to worship of the deity. Then he presented another obstacle and provided the solution and said, okay, I'll be your Purohit. My recommendation for you is that I'll teach you the prayers that Narayana Kavacha. Is there anyone here in this audience that knows Narayana Kavacha? So it's mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Vishwarupa taught Narayana Kavacha to Indra. We do a very simplified form, those of us that wear tilak. The principle is you say names of Narayana while touching different parts of the body. We do with applying tilak. Om Keshavaya Namaha, Om Narayanaya Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namaha, Om Govindaya Namaha, etc. Applying tilak to, and touching different parts of the body. In this way, the body is protected. So apply your tilak and say the mantras. If you don't know the mantras, you can learn the mantras. All the devotees here can show you. There's little, this one, and this one, and this one. It's protection. It's the mantra, protection by mantra. So he didn't apply tilak, he chanted the Narayan Kavacha, touching various parts of his body, placing a mantra shield or armor around his body so that he became invincible. And then Indra became happy again and said, okay, let's take our weapons. And they defeated the Daityas. So Indra was happy again, he got his kingdom back. Brahaspati was still missing, but he had Vishrup, for a little while at least. Then he could understand, Vishrup is really expert. I want to find out if he knows how to perform Soma Yajna. Vishrup knew how to perform Soma Yajna. So he asked him, perform Soma Yajnas, many, and we'll take the nectar that's produced from the Soma Yajna. In the course of Vishrup performing the Soma Yajna, he didn't say anything to Indra about this, but his father was Twashta, but his mother was one of the descendants of the daughters of Diti. So she's from the Daitya dynasty as opposed to the Devas that are sons of Aditi. So, you know, when priests perform yajnas, they say the mantra so fast you don't know what they're saying. So that's what he did. When it came to those who to receive the somarasa, the nectar, he named some of his relatives on his mother's side. And that was going on for some time. Some of the nectar was going to the Daityas. And someone told Indra, do you know what Vishrup is doing? When he's doing this yajna, some of it's going to the Daityas. And when Indra found that out, he became uncontrollably angry. He drew his sword, marched right over to Vishrup and cut off his heads, all three of them. And then he had an uh-oh experience again. Oh, what did I do? So he left his kingdom for some time. He underwent meditation for 1 year inside the stem of a lotus flower. And after 1 year of that austerity, with the remaining sinful reactions he distributed in 4 different ways. The details are there and time doesn't permit the details. But that wasn't enough for Twashta, because Twashta understood this is very sinful. It's not just atoning and now it's okay. So Twashta decided he would, by the Atharva Veda, there are certain mantras that one can chant that can destroy one's enemy. So he chanted some mantras from the Atharva Veda to create a demon that would destroy Indra. But you know how it goes with karma kanda rituals? If there's a little thing that's wrong, you don't get the same result. One little thing, everything has to be just right. It's not so with chanting. In this Shikshastakam by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he specifically says that there's no hard and fast rules for chanting of the holy name. What's the Sanskrit for that? Nam namakari bahuda nija sarva shaktis tatrapita niyamata smarane nakalaha. Niyama means the prohibitions, you know, yama and niyamas, the do's and the don'ts, the injunctions and the prohibitions. So there's no niyamas with regard to chanting. You can chant anytime, at any place, in any circumstance, clean or unclean, Om apavitra pavitra va sarvasam gatopi va yasmaret pundarikakyam. You can chant in any condition, no niyamas. But with karma kanda, there's niyamas. And you get one of those niyamas wrong, you don't get the effect of the yajna. In this case, Vishwarup chanted one syllable wrong. In Sanskrit, there's Indra Chatro or Indra Chatroho.